all over the Midwest you can find mounds like these of varying sizes. The most notable one is Cahokia, right outside of St. Louis in southern Illinois. This is actually the second largest mound in America, only after the tallest mound found in Cahokia. Hello folks! Well, we have now traveled a little bit westward from our original destination here at the Frontier Americana trip, our latest grand old trip spanning a long time. We are now in Illinois, a familiar state to us here on the Coverage Project. But we are no longer in familiar regions of Illinois. We have reached southwestern Illinois, and this region of Illinois is primarily known for being close enough to St. Louis, a city in Missouri, which we have also been to. But enough of geography. There is this giant earthen structure behind us. And this is a new structure for us to see, but it reminds me of a lot of other sites we've seen. So as one reaches the western regions of the United States, as we will be doing very soon, if not already right now, one will notice that there are a lot more sites and locations and structures relating to the cultures, the numerous abundant cultures that once inhabited America. Before we were a country, before we were part of several different colonies. This landmass was once home to so many different Native American tribes. But alas, unfortunately, since the eastern part of the United States is a lot more suitable for an agricultural lifestyle, and this part of the country was settled a lot earlier than the West, most of the Native American population, if not all, died off from disease or other unfortunate ends. The western United States, fortunately, has a little bit more of these cultural sites available. So, in southwestern Illinois, will one find these giant earthen mounds. We're very lucky that these are standing today, as just a few miles westward is that giant city of St. Louis in Missouri. So, to have these mounds, such as this one, Monk's Mound, preserved and intact, at least what we can find that remained of it, we're very lucky, because this has led to many anthropological and archaeological discoveries, so that we can learn a little bit more about these pre-Columbian societies in America. You'll notice how we're right on the side of some state or county route. Most of the stuff you'll see attributed to Native American culture and society is kind of like that. They're just squished in the middle of a populated eastern United States full of towns and cities already inhabited. So we are very lucky that we get to see Cahokia Mounds State Historic Site. Now, throughout our adventures through the eastern part of the United States, we have seen such mounds, like the one we found at the beginning of our day in Marietta, Ohio. A mound found in Tallahassee when we went there. And of course, Natchez, Mississippi. That was a video basically dedicated to the Natchez people and the mounds they built. But here, we are going to have a great day in Cahokia Mounds State Historic Site. And it's not just this mound right here. This is a whole collection of earthen mounds, the largest of its kind anywhere north of Mexico. Before I do any more talking, I think it's necessary that we just get going and ascend this monk's mound. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's discover this hidden treasure in the middle of an unsuspecting Midwest frontier land. We have reached the top of Monk's Mound. Now, this is not the only mound. It is certainly the largest and most impressive. That's why people know of this mound in the photographs and other forms of media that they see when they hear of Cahokia Mounds. But yeah, this is an amazing view. As you can see, all the mounds, every field gets a mound. That field, that field. Acres and acres of mounds. And over there, I don't know if you can see it, but that is St. Louis with the arch and the cityscape. We have been there. We went there last July. And what a day that was in St. Louis, but we're just a short distance away. This is what people saw at the top 1,000 years ago when this mound was first constructed. Cahokia was one of America's largest pre-Columbian Native American cities. At its peak, it had a population of about 15 to 20,000 people. This city was home to the Mississippian culture, a culture whose related tribes spread throughout the Midwest and the Southeast. But here was one of its most important trading cities. It was located at a very strategic point in the U.S., where the Mississippi, the Missouri, and the Illinois rivers all meet in this general area. And so naturally, tribes from around the Midwest into the Great Plains down to the Southeast all came to this one spot for commercial purposes. Now, if you're like me and you love learning about the cultures of the world, you might have already heard of Cahokia Mounds, because that's one of UNESCO's historic sites. It's the only UNESCO site in the Midwest and only one of a handful in the country. As we leave Monk's Mound, we get a great view of its entirety. As you see, this is not just a simple structure. This is a multi-layered earthen structure. There's a layer there, and of course there's a layer on top. This mound was used for religious rites and traditions of the native Mississippian peoples. With over 80 mounds in this whole area, who knows what the next generation of archaeologists may find about Cahokia's culture and Native American history. It's very fascinating. We are at a point in time where more and more is being discovered about the pre-Columbian civilizations before America became a country. Archaeological research has given way to the belief that the Mississippian peoples of the Southeast worshipped the sun above us. And if that's true for Cahokia, this temple is speculated to have been a place to connect with the sun and the heavens, as it's believed that the tribal chief was related to this sun deity, and he would have resided on top along with the elders of the tribal religious services. Cahokia, an ancient city of the sun, if you will. Now, Cahokia was more than just a series of earthen mounds. There were, thatched buildings made of wood, and a lot of barricades, like the one reconstructed, of course, but the one you see here, made to resemble what the walls, the barricades of this Cahokia city might have looked like. Welcome to the Grand Plaza. Yes, we can actually see so many different smaller mounds that had their own level of importance. Maybe they were burial mounds, or maybe they were just there to store other things of cultural importance. But what is more important is that here in the Grand Plaza you can get a great distance view of Monk's Mound. And this is where the daily life of the Cahokia people, the ordinary Cahokia people, took place. There were courtyards here where people had fun and games. They played a game called Chunky, actually, involving rolling a stone disc. Or there were just markets and shops and other places to spend your day in Cahokia. From here at the Grand Plaza, you could sometimes see the important people. Of course they're important, they're standing at the top of Monk's Mound, proclaiming announcements or important matters to the rest of the people, the peasants down below here at the Grand Plaza. Truly amazing to wonder and think about just how extraordinary this site is. I mean, in any other town or city where you see a mound like this, you'd be amazed. It's a huge structure made entirely of soil and clay. But this is just a meager, small little mound compared to all of the other mounds in the area, including Monk's Mound, of course. It's just been a terrific experience all around. North America doesn't really have much ancient stuff when compared to Asia and Africa and Europe. This is the closest thing we're gonna get to something of ancient significance. From 1050 to 1350, Cahokia ruled the center part of present-day United States as a pre-Columbian trading hub. Eventually, though, all good things come to an end, as for reasons that people today are still trying to figure out, maybe it was resource depletion, maybe it was political instability, Cahokia was abandoned by the end of the 1300s. When excavators and archaeologists came to this site, they discovered a series of what remained of these holes. They actually found many, indicating that there were many attempts to create a circle of wooden poles. They later found out that this was Cahokia's way of building their own sort of Stonehenge, an ode to the sun. This was Cahokia's version of a solar calendar. These poles arranged in a circular manner. And of course this is a reconstruction, but you get the idea. Arranged in a circular construction. This center pole was vital, as every summer and winter solstice, the sun from the east would cast an impressive shadow onto the ground. This archaeological find indicated that the people of Cahokia not only had a working knowledge, but an intricate knowledge of astronomy and the sun and the moon and the stars. And furthermore, how to utilize it for their own religious ceremonies. This arrangement of wooden poles is today known as Woodhenge, a play on words from Stonehenge in England. But this is the North American version of Stonehenge, practically, and it's important to understand these things because Cahokia was a big deal about 1,000 years ago. It was more or less an equivalent size of medieval London or Paris, and it ultimately, although abandoned, led the way for interest in Native American sites across the country. After this video, can you understand why Cahokia Mounds is not only a UNESCO site, but a National Historic Landmark here in the US? This whole journey across the Cahokia site is very impressive, and more impressive when you think of the fact that there is such urban sprawl all around this area. Just across the Mississippi River from St. Louis, we are very, very close to East St. Louis in Illinois. Let's just say we should probably not be visiting East St. Louis anytime soon, but yeah, there you have it, our day in Cahokia, America's ancient sacred city of the sun. With this video coming to an end, next time you'll see me, we'll be in Missouri exploring what lays west of St. Louis, because there is a whole state that we didn't really get to see last summer during the march through the Midwest, and I really want to show you the parts of Missouri that hold a sense of cultural importance. I can't wait. Hope you all can't wait. So yeah, walking at this sacred site of Woodhenge in Cahokia Mounds, state historic site here in Southwest Illinois. More travels to come. I will see you at the next location.